Good news, everybody! It's a Z-only show! That's right, this is Our Reviews Will Kill You, and it's July 5th. Heck yeah, America, baby! That's right, I got my patriotic mask on, and I don't know how long I can wear it. I'll hang in there for like 2 more minutes. But that's right. 248 years plus 1 extra day, and America beautiful. Gotta love America. I got to see some fireworks despite the crazy weather out there. I got to watch some virtual fireworks. I think they were real. Maybe they were alien fireworks. I got a special invite from Ron Cole to watch some fireworks, which is pretty awesome. So I appreciate that. That's right. It's Our Reviews Will Kill You. And have we got an excellent show for you, mostly because Noob's not here. That's right, we don't know if he'll ever appear on the show ever again. He has no internet connection except when he streams on his live on his cell phone. So that makes it very difficult for anybody to do anything with anything. So anyway, we have an incredible show for you today. Let me tell you what we have on the show for you today. Gotta mute that YouTube. We've got in the news, we've got Rubik's Cube turned 50. Will Smith coming back at you with a new song. You can make it. The Bear coming out strong with a biggest audience yet, but are there problems? We'll get to that too. Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura, not Tom McDonald, sell out. The Smilo Ren mask is available. We're going to check that out. Flavor Flav. Oh, wait, before we get to Flavor Flav, can you raw dog it on a flight? We'll find out what that means. That sounds kind of interesting. I don't know. And Flavor Flav is going to save Red Lobster single-handedly, maybe. Steve-O is about to get a little more chesty. In outrageous news, a robot gets some skin to smile. That's kind of creepy. You're going to be creeped out. I promise you will not like that segment. And then we talk about termite mounds, and they may have been around longer than you thought. We get in and out on Batman Cape's Crusader. We're going to review Ultraman Rising. Isn't that crazy? And it's been a lot of TV to watch, not a ton of movies. So I'm going to try to catch Beverly Hills Cop. That's going to be the next one. It just came out on Netflix. We're going to check that one out. And then I'm going to tell you a little about the worst roommate ever. And I can no longer do my America mask. It's got to come off. It's hurting my face. Still love America. America. It makes you feel good. Anyway, I'm going to tell you a story about the worst roommate ever. From my perspective. About a show called Worst Roommate Ever. Ron remembers watching Ultraman. Ultraman is pretty awesome. They basically took leftover Godzilla costumes and kept remaking them into different things until finally they kind of ran out of ways to do it. But it's been kicking around for a long time and always had very fun sound effects like whoa. So they have an anime Ultraman with a special guest composer on it, which was pretty cool. I enjoyed it. It was kind of interesting. It wasn't the best thing I ever seen, but I did like it. So that's what we got on today's show. It's gonna be a great one. It's gonna be the greatest ever. I'm the man you may know as Z if we didn't talk about that. If you're tuning in, please like, subscribe, do all those other great things. Notification bells. We do love you. And you grow the show. We're creeping on 2,000 subscribers. That's pretty awesome. I'm excited for it. I hope you are too. As we go on this strange journey together, and I do usually have a co-host, but he's decided to retire, and he's moved out to the old folks' home. He's out playing golf. He struggles to get in, He's got a great golf game, I guess, and he's just wandering because he'd be a pro for this first. Oh wait, we're not gonna go to the news first. We're gonna go to housekeeping, but I promise I'll make a joke about Noob being old. I'll get there.
You want me to jerk you off? What kind of hotel is this?
So we're going to talk about Bear. Because not Bear Grylls, and not Bear the Bounty Hunter. Noob talked about the Bear and whether or not he felt like the Bear was a good show. Apparently it's doing good numbers after its third season. But I watched this video and there's trouble in paradise because he said that the first episode was a clip show. And I thought they stopped those in the 80s. For those of you unfamiliar with the clip show, they basically recycle what they already had and just let you watch your essentially clips from previous episodes, like previously on. You know how you get the recap, like in the beginning of House of Dragon, you get a recap where it's like previously on House of the Dragon. It'll have clips from the previous episode. So, yeah, it's a little confusing, and he did not like it. I said that's like one of the laziest tropes in all of writing. And they're only on the third season, and all they can do is give a clip show. I guess they thought that because they won a bunch of whatever, Tonys, Oscars, daytime Emmys, Golden Globes, whatever they won a lot of awards that new people would be watching, so they wanted to catch them up to speed. So I guess they thought a clip show was the way to go. I think that's a bad move, but we'll see because there's an article that may contradict me. And for those of you wondering, my new co-host is Godzilla, and he's always happy about everything we talk about. He's just jumping for joy, so don't worry about Godzilla. He's just holding it down for us. We did another live stream because we're testing out different modes of live streaming and the potential to bring on additional guests. And it didn't go so good because somebody has that Walmart off-brand internet or the McDonald's internet. I don't know what kind of internet he has, but it ain't good. And working so well. But we were able to stream on our cell phones, and we uncovered a secret about Noob. What was that secret, you ask? Well, he always has claimed that he was as good as a swimmer as Michael Phelps, which is clearly his own personal delusion. But since he's moved, he's been swimming in the ocean every day. So we started talking about what else swims in the ocean and what could take him down. You should watch this show or take a listen because YouTube has taken it upon itself to turn this into a podcast, I think. So check it out. Find out what happens to Noob or what could potentially happen to Noob in the future. Very exciting stuff here. I had a video where I talked about the two biggest sellouts in Hollywood right now, Bert Kreischer and Tom Segura, which I was going to do an article, but then I forgot I did a video. So those two guys are sellouts. They had Jimmy Kimmel on recently, who is the ultimate Hollywood shill. If you recall, Jimmy Kimmel was the same guy who said that Joe Rogan was all huffed up on horse paste. And he's the same guy who, was doing blackface and nobody seemed to say about it. And he was harassing women on the street from his show, from his old band show. Yet now he's, in the Hollywood elite and can kind of get away with anything he wants. So kind of interesting how that happened. But I go over that more in the Hollywood sellouts. I talk about not Game of Thrones, House of Dragon. And some people are big mad at all my videos recently. Just because I have a hot take doesn't mean you get to hate on me. We want an AI pic of Noob. I will get one. Tell me what you'd like him to look like. I did it. The AI pic of me is I think it's from GTA is what I did, was a GTA one. And I think his turned him black. So maybe it's what he's always wanted to be. So we never used it. I may have it. At this point, I might as well just use it and have an AI co-host. But I do talk about House of the Dragon and a lot of hate on this video too, because I don't really know what's going on. And some of the characters are acting outside of what they would normally do in the show, like outside motivations. And it's making me real curious. You got to remember, Game of Thrones does not have a lot of goodwill from the fans. And House of Dragon is obviously a spinoff. If everybody remembers that Game of Thrones Season 8 is widely considered the worst end of a television show ever, beating out like Sopranos and all the other hated ones. So here we have them doing weird things, and a lot of people are complaining, and I was joining the cacophony of people who are saying, this seems like it could be an issue for them in the future, so they better watch out. We want dragons, not women doing weird things. Plus, there was like some explicit acts that were being depicted in the show that I felt were unnecessary. It's not like they moved the plot forward or anything. This is weird. It was weird. Especially for a group that were complaining about sex scenes that were cut out, and some of the actors were complaining about that, and with all those not life coaches, but all of those, what do they call those people? Intimacy coordinators that are out on sets now. Very weird stuff going on. So then that's what we did this week. So a couple of live streams, or at least one live stream. I think we took one down. We did discover we have a wheel. Maybe one day I will bring it into the show. Well, we have a wheel where if you're listening live, we'll have a wheel for you to participate, and we'll spin the wheel for you, and you might win. Who knows? You could win banishment. You could win the gulag. Maybe you win a bottle of water. It just depends if I can get it to work. It took me like a good 20 minutes to figure out how to make it spin. So, yeah, that's all a thing and more. But we're going to move on. We're going to talk about the news. That's right. That's right. You are fake news. The Rubik's Cube is not fake news. And this was why this was a good noob story, because the Rubik's Cube turns 50 and he's in a retirement home. So he's easily over age 65. I was curious what a teenager had thought of when the Rubik's Cube was invented and came out. That's right, Ron. It was spin the deal, make a deal, or spin the wheel, make a deal, or it was called break a deal, spin the wheel. If for those of you who are Mad Max and the Thunderdome, that's my favorite wheel of all time, is the Mad Max Thunderdome, and that's what I was copying. Is the gulag? I think Max wins gulag. No, which isn't even what they do. No, he wins banishment. That's right, and then gulag was on the wheel. There was a bunch of other stuff. Ron has an original Rubik's Cube. That might be worth some money, especially if it's 50. Hey, Ron, have you ever actually solved a Rubik's Cube? Because, honest to God, never solved one. I never really tried, though, because I never owned one. It was, one of those luxury items. I don't know if it's a luxury item. But I may have owned a Slinky, but never a Rubik's Cube. I think Slinky still exists, too. But the Rubik's Cube turns 50, and it doesn't seem like it's going anywhere. The thing that always is wild to me is all of those people who can spin it in 30 seconds and win. And I'm like, how is that? There must be a trick to it. If you do it 1,000 times, though, I'm sure you get good. The Rubik's Cube is a 42% market share of the brain teaser category, and sales are still growing. 2022 global retail sales of the Rubik's Cube were $75.3 million. That's unbelievable. It was conceived as a mathematical tool to help his students. The man who created it was Erno Rubik. Who knew? He conceived it as a mathematical tool to help his students understand three-dimensional movement. The Magic Cube, as it was initially called, was first pieced together with cubes made from wood and paper held together with rubber bands, glue, and paper clips. What? It was only after the Hungarian sculptor and professor of architecture scrambled his completed cube and tried to realign the color blocks that he realized he created a puzzle. I thought, if I can't do it, nobody else could do it, or very few can do it. That was proof that it was possible to put it in the market and demonstrate it to the public. Good for him. It isn't just a toy, says Spin Master, the owners of it now. It's art. It's a sport. It's science. It's math. I don't know what kind of math. I mean, I guess there's math in there somewhere. Try it on my own. Couldn't solve it, Ron Cole is saying. He couldn't solve it for the longest time, and then he came back across a book for solving the Rubik's Cube. Hey, I think if you could use a book I would imagine a lot of people have to use a book to solve it. Because I don't know how to solve it. The only way I've heard of people solving it, I've never actually met a person who could genuinely solve it. I don't think I have. But I do know that many people replace the colors. They just take the colors off and put them back on. Maybe ultimately in life today, that is the only way that you do solve any puzzle, is you find the shortest path and make it make the most sense. Let's see. What was that? I guess this is the next story. I don't know. I can't keep track anymore. But I'm going to say that the next story is... we're talking about fresh starts and solving puzzles. So let's talk about the puzzle of Will Smith. Every time I used to do stories on Will Smith, and people don't seem to care. And then I looked at his Will Smith's... most of my stories about Will Smith were making fun of Will Smith. But I looked at his new track, and it only had like 700,000. It didn't even have that many. 200,000 plays on it. Will Smith makes BET Awards performance debut with new track. You could make it. You could make it even if you were canceled. I think he says something like that. 2 years later, Will Smith has made his triumphant return to the award show on stage. It was not a bad song, to be honest with you. It is a little weird that he used Kanye West's Sunday Service Choir. They are very talented, but gonna say that's a little sus trying to use those guys. I wouldn't associate myself with Kanye West. It's a little weird though why it's all like kind of like hell imagery. Well, I don't know what's going on here. The choir accompanied him on an elevated platform before gathering around him in the ring of fire. Gospel artist Kirk Franklin also stepped up from the audience to join Will Smith on stage. Very strange. Very strange. But I thought the song was fine. And he says something about bringing soul back. And there's only one comment on this article, so I'm going to assume nobody actually cares. They prefer when he's slapping people. You need to go back to slapping people, Will. That was your strong point, not this soul. He still raps, don't get me wrong. He's not singing. He's just rapping. Just rapping. Rapping, yeah. Gonna say certain singers definitely have more talent than rappers, but to each their own. Just like The Bear. The Bear premieres to its biggest audience yet, Hulu says. The season 3 opener of the FX-produced series tallies more than 5 million viewers in 4 days. That's right. That's right. Speaking of 4-day weekends, well, this just July 4th was rough for everybody. You have July 4th on a Thursday, and then that means some people had to go to work on Fridays, and the rest are away for the week or the weekend. Probably a good week to get away. A little hot for everybody. But I anticipate that there will be... This is going to be a weekend where everybody's away doing something. So I hope you do something fun. I hope you enjoy it. The premiere of The Bear seems to be enjoying it. Pardon me. Showing 36-minute season premiere. It's a big jump over season 2 opener. So they're doing good. But like Noob Noob says, he's not enjoying the first couple episodes. So I don't know. I've never watched it. Not that much interest in it. I will say, though, that Eben Moss Bachrach, whoever that guy is, he was in The Eagle, which I reviewed, and I thought he was very good in it. Now, that doesn't make me want to watch The Bear, but he was very good in it. And I heard that there's some sort of romantic relationship going on between the two lead characters. So, good for you. Good for you. You gotta get it while you can, because once the show's over... Let's talk about spending some money. Because I genuinely thought about making a purchase. Can I move this? It's for $99.99. So for $100, you can have Smilo Ren's mask. Whoa, as it jumps in your face. I actually based, what are we, six episodes out of 8 into The Acolyte. The show is absolutely terribly written, but the actors are giving it their all, and I kind of like Smilo Ren. Not gonna lie, I like his mask. I think it's kind of cool. And I would consider buying it. And guess what? A lot of other people did too. They bought it. It's $99.99 and it's sold out. Now, I'm going to guarantee you they only made a couple, 1,000 of these, if that. This is one of those. It's like the HasLab where you essentially pre-order stuff. Just to give you a comparison, I did a story on this before. When Obi-Wan Kenobi came out, they had Reva's double lightsaber on here. And it failed to get funding for people to buy. So this is pre-order available until September 15th. And it's already sold out. So, when you have a good concept for Star Wars, people will support it, but the show stinks. But this mask is pretty cool. Apparently it's adjustable. I'd probably do the whole show in a mask. That'd be kind of cool. But it's very, I don't know, $100. If we make some money off the show, maybe I'll buy it. We'll do a whole show on it. I'll be Smilo Ren. Fully painted exterior. It's pretty cool. So, I don't know. Interesting that they would... it's funny because I doubt they would have... Like the characters or like the other toys and stuff, I doubt they're selling any of it. But I could see... Whoever did the design of Smilo Ren's mask, I'm not... they're not too shabby. It's very creepy. He looks like a monster. I kind of like it. He's got like teeth. It doesn't look... I didn't think in the show that it was... Like, it's kind of has a gold tinge to it. And it's made of some sort of special thing. Oh, you can't look up Smilo Ren either. You got to look up The Stranger electronic helmet. I guess it has like a voice changer, just like all the other helmets. Because he does specifically say that he needs to hide his identity. So that's fair. You probably are going to want to hide your identity after this next story. Have you tried the newest trend, raw dogging it on flights? And it's not what you think it is, because I thought it was, when I first looked up raw dogging, whoo, my eyes did burn, as I should have realized that was, no, I already knew what raw dogging was. But this new trend, raw dogging and on flights specifically, you're going to die when you hear about this. So, new trend. And this isn't new. This is how people had to do it in the olden days, the olden golden days. Noob probably knows about this. You have to tune out all distractions, including in-flight entertainment, no food, no drink. So imagine, I don't know if the first airliners had bathrooms, but I doubt they did. So I'm going to assume most people wouldn't eat or drink before getting on the plane if it's a long flight, because they don't want to have to do anything, right? They're calling it raw dogging or barebacking. Yes, you cannot have food, drinks, IFE screens, talking, or moving. You board the flight, you sit down, you deeply focus, you could turn on the in-flight map, but no movies or music. First of all, why would you do this to yourself? Just raw dog flight from Orlando to LA. No water, no snacks, no music or entertainment. Seat fully upright and the power of the mind is no limits. Stay hard. All you're doing is torturing yourself. Why would you do this to yourself? What is the purpose? I don't understand. Just raw dogged a 7-hour flight. New personal best. No headphones, no movie, no water, nothing. Incredible. The power of my mind knows no bounds. How about we waterboard you for about 3... No, I'll give you one... No, let's try 45 seconds of waterboarding, and I don't think you'll survive. They're like, there's nothing new about this practice. It's what monks and nuns do. I don't know about you, but that's not the kind of raw dogging I want to do on a flight. Just saying. I mean, I don't want to do anything on a flight. This is kind of gross. Like, why would you even want to do anything on a flight? All those people in those bathrooms over and over again. It's probably, I mean, last time I was on flight, it stinks. Not interested. Don't need to be part of any Mile High Club. If I want to be Mile High, I'd just go to Denver and get it done, and then you win. You're still part of the Mile High Club, and you don't have to worry about it. And you can even raw dog in the Mile High Club. Get it? But I am not sitting there for 7 hours. Are you sleeping? Are you just staring? Like, I don't need more information, but I guess whatever floats your boat these days, right? Whatever you enjoy. I don't get it. It's not my thing. Maybe it's your thing. Let me know if you've raw dogged a flight. I'll take your details. If you leave a comment or decide to jump in the chat and tell us. You know who does have the power of mind, and I don't even need him to raw dog anything because he has enough kids? Flavor Flav! How do you not know Flavor Flav? Sensibly cynical. It's 2024. Everything is open. That is right. That's probably why everyone is out doing things. Good for them. I like a good you go out and do things. You should go out and do things. That's why we have video on demand. You can watch our videos anytime, anywhere. In fact, next time you're thinking about raw dogging on a flight, watch an OrcU video instead. I guarantee you it will make at least an hour of your life more pleasant than raw dogging it. Sensibly, we need you on the pod. I will have you on as a guest. We just have to think about something you want to talk about. It could be raw dogging if you like. Whatever you want to talk about, we'll talk about. You've had a ton of guests on, so it's been interesting. But you need to get Flavor Flav, the Public Enemy rapper. I almost said he was a member of Run DMC, like a dummy. No, he is Public Enemy with Chuck D. And I'm going to say there was a bunch of Black Panthers in Public Enemy. And I cannot remember the name of their DJ, but Flavor Flav is doing what he can to save Red Lobster. Good for him. I appreciate that. And who would have known that the Red Lobster was such a pillar of the black community? I do know that people are very upset about it. And not just black people, but like everybody is upset. What's happening to Red Lobster? Because Red Lobster's really financially struggling. They've closed a whole bunch of their restaurants, and I'm sure it's in communities. Every community that loses Red Lobster isn't happy about it. But they did kind of do it to themselves. So Flavor Flav, from his X account, your boy meant it when I was going to do everything or anything and everything to help Red Lobster and save the Cheddar Bay biscuits. Ordered the whole menu. That's kind of funny. So he really likes the Cheddar Bay biscuits. I had heard after they closed 50 restaurants, and I thought they closed like 150. They were going to have some sort of crossover where he was going to have a thing where he was going to sell, he was going to help, like he says, he wants to help one of America's greatest dining dynasties. And he wanted to connect with them so that he could help. They had an $11 million operating cost in the third quarter of 2023. And it's really one of those. This is a good article because it shows everything. And by the way, all of our stories are linked in our website, ourreviewswillkillyou.com. You can find the link to every single article so you can follow along and fact check us. The firm essentially in 2014 was sold to a private equity firm, and the private equity firm gutted them, stole all their money, saddled them with really bad leases, and then sold part of it to their own seafood distributor, who then made them buy all their garbage. Like, not garbage, but all their whatever special you probably saw was pushed because they had excess inventory, not because it was client demand. So it's a mess. They're a mess, and I hope Flavor Flav can save them. But yeah, and look, there's staff. You got to think about the employees, and I think it's cool. Why people were giving him some questions about it. Hey, man, he wants to do whatever he wants. What's Flavor Flav's net worth? I have no idea, but I would assume he still makes big fat royalty checks because Public Enemy is they were a big deal for a long time, and I'm sure they get played still all the time. Plus, he was on some of those reality shows, which might be in syndication. And, buying out the whole menu of Red Lobster in one sitting it can't be more than like $1,000. I don't think he's exactly flossing. Like, let's look at what is he got there. That's the whole menu. That's not that much food. You know what I mean? Like, I don't think he's rocking it so hard that you can't, He needs some more Hush Puppies is what he needs. Double down on Hush Puppies. That would be great. Hey, but Flavor Flav's doing his part. I just thought they had like some sort of advertising crossover where he was advertising those cheddar cheese biscuits. Gotta get that cheese. Well, this should have been outrageous news because Flavor Flav's pretty outrageous, but he has somebody who has one-upped him. This should have been outrageous, but it is not. I mean, it is, but I didn't know what to do with it. Steve-O has... I always wonder... First of all, Steve-O was probably dropped on his head as a kid. Seems like an okay guy. He very much only cares about attention on himself and, marketing his next product. But his life is about to get properly crazy. Steve-O's getting a boob job. This guy, he used to be a professional clown. He went to clown school, so he is a clown for sure. He said he came up with the idea a few years ago to get a boob job. I just don't. I don't even know what are you gonna do with Steve-O. Granted, he is the same guy who has a tattoo of himself on his back, a picture of himself, which is I always thought is a great tattoo. It's very funny. Is this his girlfriend? He's gonna have a D cup after his surgery. That is just insane. But he's only going to have them for a max of 2 months. What if he really likes them? I mean, what else has Steve-O got going on for him? Hey, and then he says, I spoke with doctors. I said to them candidly, the one thing I'm really freaked out about and bummed out about would be to back out over this. And he doesn't want to be a mess afterwards. He said they're going under the muscle, and the doctors are completely unfazed. 2 months, it comes out, absolutely no issue. Bro, those doctors are lying to you. You are going to have like some stretched skin. Your nipples will never look the same. I mean, I know he doesn't care that much about his body. Why not just get like the full hog surgery? I don't know. I don't know what he's doing. Oh, I don't know what he's doing. So he's gonna go get it done. I will be curious. Will he be edited out or blurred out everywhere he goes? I'd also like to put out or show you. They blurred it out so you can't see it. Steve-O, in honor of turning 50, got a penis tattoo on his face for his 50th birthday. I think he said it was in honor of Post Malone because he's got a couple tears as well. Oh, Post Malone was the one who did it. Oh my God. What? I didn't realize that. I thought he did it in honor of Post Malone. I didn't know Post Malone himself did it. Wow. He asked Post Malone to tattoo a dick on his forehead. What the Oh, Steve-O. Wonders never cease. I missed that part, but we got to catch up on it because guess what? He did. He got a big old D on his forehead and he's going to get a boob job. What's going on with Steve-O? Just kind of curious. Just asking for a friend, not for any particular reason. What about getting outrageous? It's an outrage. It's an outrage. That's right. This is going to disturb you. I guarantee. A robot gets a face of living skin that allows it to smile. And if you're watching this GIF, I may have to add this to the waiting list. This is too disturbing. It's a flat disc with eyeballs floating in a pink substance that I guess is supposed to be skin that it's making smile. This is from the University of Tokyo. The Japanese really love making robots, and they really want to make them as lifelike as possible because you don't see a lot of this in the U.S. Mostly Tokyo. The uncanny feat is the result of new technology and new engineered living skin tissue and human-like ligaments to give the robot a more natural smile. First of all, it's a robot, so why do you care? Do you care if your robot overlord looks like the Terminator? Or if it, looks like the girl from Ex Machina who's all hot and you get tricked and then she then she kills you? Like, which one do you want? Because as far as I'm concerned, my robots can all look like murder robot dogs, and I'm okay with that too. If you have choices, folks. We either get conquered by robot AI or the giant ants. And I welcome our new ant overlords. So, I don't know why. Why are they doing this? I don't know. It just looks disturbing to me. It doesn't really look like anything good. To overlay and connect the lab-produced skin on robotic skeleton, a layer of collagen gel containing cultured human dermal fibroblasts, a type of connective tissue cell, binds to an innovative system of tiny V-shaped perforations in the skin, letting the skin move with the underlying structure without tearing or peeling. The work of muscles creating a smile and other motions is done by actuators. I don't know, man. This all seems like a bad idea. We don't need to give our conquerors a human face. But in other interesting science news, because our outrageous news it's always got a science tinge to it. I mean, most of the time. Not every time. But what were you doing 34,000 years ago? I don't know, but I'm going to say maybe doing it with a Neanderthal. I think that's a possibility. Because I don't know what was the early Dryad period, or what was that period that Graham Hancock always talks about? 15,000 years ago when the Earth suffered some sort of cataclysm. Anyway, the oldest inhabited termite mounds have been active for 34,000 years. That's bananas. Cape Town, South Africa. Scientists in South Africa have been stunned to discover the termite mounds that are still inhabited in an arid region of the country are more than 30,000 years old. They're the oldest known active termite hills. That's kind of cool. If you know anything about termite hills, which I'm sure you do, they're pretty big. Much bigger than you think. So they did some radiocarbon dating on these and found them to be 34,000 years old. We knew they were old, but not that old. Francis said the mounds existed while saber-toothed cats and woolly mammoths roamed other parts of the earth, and large swaths of Europe and Asia were covered in ice. So my thoughts are, if you've been around for 34,000 years and all you have is a termite mound, what have you been doing this whole time? Huh? You couldn't do better? Come on, Senator. I need you to do better. Some fossilized termite mounds have been discovered. Oh, they found like millions of years old ones found in Brazil. But yeah, they're pretty old. They predate some of the earliest cave paintings in Europe. What cave paintings have the termites done, huh? You had 34,000 years to make one cave painting and you couldn't do it. Could you? Huh? That's right, termites. You're lazy. And I can't imagine there's enough aardvarks to, stop them from doing stuff. Apparently, researchers needed to carefully excavate parts of the mound to take in samples, and the termites went into emergency mode and started filling the holes. The team fully constructed the mounds to keep the termites safe from predators like aardvarks. And the biggest mounds, locally known as Huiljildies. That's exactly how you pronounce it. Huiljildies. which means little hills in the Afrikaans language. I gotta be a Hulwitchies. Hulwitchies. It's the Hulwitchies Afrikaans, man. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty cool. Southern harvester termites are experts at capturing and storing carbon. Maybe you should have them affect our climate change. Oh, of course they're going to say about it. Here they go. France has called for more research on termite mounds, given the lessons they offer on climate change. That's just a cheap way of getting more funding. Yeah, that's right. This is ridiculous. We will do well to study what the termites have done in the mounds. They were thought to be very boring. You're hilarious, lady. I think the termite mounds are cool. Who knew they were so old? But again, where's your paintings, bro? Come at me, bro. Where's your arts? Where's your crafts? I need a little bit more. You know? Step it up, termites. I'd like to get out of the termites, and I'd like to get in, you son of a bitch, into Batman. Now, this is from the mind of Matt Reeves, the same man who did The Batman and is associated with and perhaps doing The Penguin, which I'm not super excited in seeing. But Batman Caped Crusader, I think I will watch this. I don't know how good it's going to be. It does remind me a little bit. I mean, they're going for the aesthetic of the original Batman the Animated Series, which could be one of the greatest animated series of all time. I definitely love that show. It's very good. But we're seeing the first show of the new series from Matt Reeves and J.J. Abrams. I mean, can J.J. Abrams screw this up? Absolutely he can. So we'll see what happens. For the official description in the series, the corrupt outnumber the good as criminals run rampant and law-abiding citizens live in a constant state of fear in Gotham City, forced by the fire of tragedy. Yeah, we all know about Batman. His one-man crusade attracts unexpected allies. We'll see. Christina Ricci's in it. Jamie Chung as Harley Quinn. So it's a whole new Harley Quinn. Dietrich Bader as Harvey Two-Face. I thought that was the same guy. He played Batman before. Minnie Driver, McKenna Grace. Who plays Batman, though? I don't know. Maybe Dietrich Bader, who has he's from Harley Quinn but played Batman. Maybe he's playing Batman. I am not sure, but we'll check it out. We'll let you know what it's like because I am in on Batman: The Caped Crusader. I will tell you, I am not J.J. Abrams' sworn enemy, but I am definitely pretty close to it, and I will tell you if he screwed this up. So I am in on The Caped Crusader. I am in. It seems like a good time had by all. I mean, how hard is it to screw up Batman? Though Batman was fine. I mean, it's not great. It's fine. I don't know if I like the Joker they had in there. Who was that? Barry Keogh played the Joker. I did. It was okay. There were some lines in it I didn't like, and it's not like the best Batman movie. Maybe one day we'll rank all of the Batman movies. There's so many Batman movies, though, so many, and then some of them change. You know, when you look back at them with a different lens. So, but I did watch Batman '89 not too long ago, and it was pretty amazing hearing Prince's soundtrack again. That man is an. It's weird to say that Prince is an underrated genius, but Prince does not get the credit that Prince deserves. Prince probably got it in the 80s, but that man is a genius. I've actually heard some interesting stories about Prince, besides beating Charlie Murphy in a game of basketball after giving him flapjacks. But aside from that, I mean, is Prince still a genius? It was the shirts versus the blouses, and then he laid the smackdown on me. Charlie Murphy. Oh, we miss you, my friend. Anyway, let's get on with it. Let's move on. This is a little bit of a shorter show. I didn't have, it's a short week. We had some live stuff we already talked about, but we're going to talk about the review. No, that was the end of the show. It was not the end of the show. Review. We're gonna look up if we can find it. Not Ultraman Rising. Gen Watanabe. All right. Ultraman. This is a weird one though. Isn't your mama's Ultraman? Isn't your Ron Cold's Ultraman? This is an established Ultraman, and it's like the second generation of Ultraman. And they're getting assaulted by monsters, but one of the monsters, he reluctantly, essentially, Ultraman is passed on from generation to generation. So there's the main character, and his name is Ken Sato, and I really actually like his character, because his father, he figures out that his father's Ultraman, but he really doesn't want to be Ultraman. He wants to be a professional baseball player. And he becomes one of the greatest professional baseball players of all time, goes to the United States as a baseball player, and then comes back to Japan because he's asked to, because he carries the mantle of Ultraman. His father was injured, and they request that he comes back to help them. And they don't spend a lot of time on this. Like, it's real, it's show, don't tell. They don't have to explain everything. They just give you the story. So he returns, but he joins the Japanese baseball team and reluctantly helps as Ultraman when he finds the abandoned, orphaned infant of one of the monsters that he helped fight and ends up becoming a surrogate father. And that's kind of the story. And it's about parents and their children and the decisions that you make. And it was a very sweet, fun movie. It's got an 83% fresh score on the Rotten Tomato critic score, and on the Rotten Tomato score for the audience score is 92%. Pretty good. I really enjoyed this. And on top of all that, just throw it in there, there is a composer who did the score, but they put in one of my favorite guitarists. They asked Tim Henson from Polyphia to do some of the guitar work on the score, and he just wails. So some of the most exciting parts of the score, you will notice, they will stand out to you because you had a guitar genius adding to the score, which is pretty cool. So very exciting. Other the acting all around is very good. Ultraman Rising adds an interesting wrinkle of child rearing to the franchise's high-octane formula, making for a colorful romp for the whole family. I absolutely think that this is it's rated PG, but it's a family movie. Absolutely anybody can watch it. I think it's you'll have fun with it, especially if you like Ultraman at all. But it's not so Ultraman-centric that you need to know like a whole ton of lore about Ultraman to really enjoy it. You could kind of have, you can have whatever. You don't need to be steeped in Ultraman lore. There's a couple of Easter eggs for Ultraman fans, but it's not. It's really a standalone movie and quite enjoyable. So I definitely recommend this one. I think you should watch it. You're gonna like it. I don't think there's too many negative scores either. And I don't recognize many of the actors or anything, but who's the guy who played Ken Sato? He was pretty good. Christopher Sean. What else did you do here, friend? No Place Like Home. He didn't do a lot, but he did a good job. He was in Star Wars Visions. Okay, cool. I like season 1 of Star Wars Visions. Hey, Mr. M, how are you doing? You are still... I don't have your prize, but Mr. M, long-time, full-time listener of the show, did win the... I don't even know what the contest was, but he won Godzilla X Kong. Yep. So congratulations to you. You haven't watched Ultraman since you were a kid? This is fun. If you have kids, your kids can watch this. It's very colorful. It's a lot of fun. There's an adorable monster in it. Ultraman, it's not very scary at all. It's a good family-friendly movie, and it'll reunite you and reinvigorate your I like Ultraman. Like I said, there's a low bar of entry for this one. It's actually pretty good. Oh, he already sent you Godzilla X Kong. That's right. You're the man. Enjoy. Let us know what you thought of it. I do an ancillary podcast to this one, and I'm going to work to get him back on. But I do have Gigablast 02. We do some Godzilla and monster movies and horror movie kind of like side podcast every once in a while. We try to do it every 2 weeks, and I was away for several weeks, so we haven't done it. But we did talk a lot about Godzilla X Kong, and you could check out some of our conversations. He's a great guy, has some really fun opinions. He's very knowledgeable on the Godzilla side. But now I'm going to take you on a story. What is this show called? World's Worst. It's not World's Worst Tenants. Roommates. What the heck is the name of this show? It's like Netflix's number one show right now, and you would think I would know what it was called. Roommates. Netflix. What in the world is this thing called? Netflix. I wonder if there is a is there a thing on is there trending on Rotten Tomatoes? TV shows. Let's go there. Let's go to most popular on RT. Du Bois, The Bear, House of the Dragon, presumed in it's season 2 of something about roommates. No, can we figure by TV shows? Worst roommate ever? Is that what I'm supposed to review, Mr. Amsterdam? Thank you. Worst roommate ever? Oh, you are the best, because I am not good at this. It's hard. Producing the show and doing it by myself is a little bit of a chore. Okay, I think this is the right thing. Yes, it's on Netflix. Stream now. So I'm going to tell you a story. Google says that it's trending. Good. So worst roommate ever is they had a first season, and the first season was a doozy. So let me tell you about the first season. There was a woman who was I don't know if this was like in the 60s or 70s or whenever. She would bring in homeless people to essentially live in her house. It was kind of like I don't know, it wasn't like a flop house, but she would have many people live in this house, coming in and out, most of them homeless. And then some of them just started disappearing. Well, when all was said and done, this kindly old lady who was taking in homeless people and helping them have a place to live, she was killing them and burying them in her garden. It's like 8 people dead or something like that. So this is definitely about the worst roommates ever. So let me tell you about the first episode that I watched on season 2. I'm going to give you my interpretation of the same thing. It's got 100% on the audience reviews. So people are into it. And each one's like an hour. So you kind of have to give it some time to breathe. Okay, so I've watched the first 2. My BFF Tried to Kill Me and Housemaid from Hell. And we're just going to go the trend in this season, in my opinion, is that these roommates who have bad things have happened to them may or may not have earned what they got. Just gonna point that out. I don't know if that's intentional or if that's just my interpretation, but let's talk about My BFF Tried to Kill Me. So these 2 women were friends for about 25 years, right? And I'm going to tie this into how China is asshole. Because it's not China that's the problem with this one. So these 2 women were friends for 25 years. Essentially, they were friends for, I'm going to say, like 15 years. And, they've been through hard times and boyfriends and whatever. So the one woman is a registered nurse. And the other woman doesn't have a lot of jobs. Let's put it that way. And I'm going to believe her, but she claims to have broken her back many times, or she's had many, many back surgeries, which is fine. Look, some people have trouble. So she's on disability, essentially. So one of these points when she breaks her back or whatever, she has herniated discs. Sorry, she didn't break her back. She has herniated discs. Her disc was so herniated that she was able to get laid and have a kid. And now the kid is autistic, and the as she puts it, the father decided not to stick around. Okay, single mom, has a female roommate who's a nurse, autistic kid. So hey, this perfect fit. The nurse can be paid to take care of the autistic kid and help her. And, mom can continue being a freeloader who can't work but can get laid while having herniated discs and things like that. She's got a lot of opiates she needs to take because, her back hurts and things are going on. Things are difficult in life for her. So she's on disability. And, the nurse is making a lot of money because the state is paying her a lot of money to take care of the autistic kid. And, they've known each other for 10 plus years. At this point, 15 plus years. And the one thing that struck me as odd is that the woman with the herniated discs, she loves taking selfies and giving that duck face, with those DSLs. Her lips are all plumped up. She's always done to the nines with makeup. Even in her hospital bed, she's got makeup on, right? Well, and her friend, not looking so hot, but they really love this autistic kid. I don't know the kid's name. And you have to remember, this is a Blumhouse production, and they make cheap horror movies. And I like Blumhouse movies, but they make cheap horror movies. Just putting that out in the background. So here she is, hard up, can't work. The other woman's making a lot of money. She makes all the financial decisions. She gets paid by the state. She has a full-time job. She's taking care of the kid. Well, at some point, she decides to sue the birth mom who's got the herniated discs for custody of the kid. Because she goes, you know what? You're kind of a drug addict. You don't work. You don't contribute a lot. You don't really raise them. I do. So maybe you should just give me custody of the kid. So she called. They live in the same house, by the way. Housemates, right? This is your worst roommate ever. So she sues her for custody. The woman has nowhere to go and decides that she's going to live in a homeless shelter or like a women's shelter for 6 weeks. So instead of the state being like, you know what, this woman really can't support the kid. She's not doing a good job with the kid. There's not a lot that she could do. She clearly doesn't deserve custody because she can't do anything. She can't take care of herself. She can't take care of the kid. She should live in a woman's shelter, and the nurse can't see the kid anymore. None of that makes sense. All right. So I'm starting to think like maybe the nurse should be the mom, right? So after about 6 weeks, she says, everything's cool. Can I move back in? The kid misses you. He's regressing. He was making progress because he was very nonverbal. He needs help. Can we just come back and live with you? He misses home. He wants to come back. So she comes back, but she's pissed. The nurse who owned the home was pissed, right? So over some stretch of time, the mom keeps going into the hospital and keeps having problems. She's having problems with her blood sugar levels, this whole thing. And at one point, they were watching true crime together, and she had she's like watching this thing, and this woman's trying to kill this other person. She goes, if you're going to kill somebody, I feel like you should just use insulin to kill somebody. Like, nobody's going to find out if you just use insulin. Like, who would ever find out? I don't know. So the moral of the story is at some point, and I'm spoiling this for you, I don't care, because you either want to watch it or not, because you won't believe it. Even if I tell you that you should watch it, you're still going to be like, this doesn't make any sense. This is crazy. You can't write this stuff. It's not like nonfiction. This is why people are addicted to true crime, because you can't write this stuff. It's so outrageous. They've been friends for 25 years. So eventually the FBI comes knocking on her door, and on the mother's door, she lives in the house. She doesn't own the house, but she lives there with the kid, right? And she goes, the FBI goes, hey, we'd like to ask you some questions. They say, okay, what do you need to know? Do you know anything about the dark web or anything that's been bought off of the dark web or what that looks like or any packages that come to the house here or anything like that? Oh, you don't, do you? Interesting. And so they keep it, and they go, well, I need to call, the one who owns the house here. Like, I don't know what to do. Well, you can't talk. Can I talk to her? No, you can't talk to her. Why can't I talk to her? She's in jail. Oh, really? She's in jail. Okay, why is she in jail? Have you ever heard of Versa? Now, Versa is a more powerful strain of MRSA. If you know anything about hospitals, people are deathly afraid of getting MRSA, which is a staph infection that is resistant to any antibacterials you can take. It's very dangerous, right? So this woman went on the dark web and tried to purchase Versa, which is a more virulent strain. In fact, it's listed as a weapon of mass destruction by the FBI. Well, guess where she bought it from? She bought it from the FBI's website. She didn't buy it from the dark web. So just think about this, folks. This woman paid her hard-earned money that she earned, working as a nurse to buy Versa. She thought she was buying perfectly good Versa from the FBI because the FBI shipped her a package and then watched her as she picked up said package from the UPS store. If I haven't ever heard of entrapment, I've never heard of entrapment. So when they questioned her, it's like, why we watched you pick up a package? What do you think's in the package? She's like, I don't know. What's in the package? They say, well, we think there's some weirds in the package. Some to make some weird stuff. And she's like, I thought I could use it to make beer. Yeah, I was using Versa to make beer. It's just a strain of a bacteria that I could use to make some tasty, tasty beer. So when they went and searched the house, they didn't find anything to make beer. But what they did find in her search history when they they took all of her computers and things is that she had been buying insulin and she was injecting it into the woman who was in the hospital 15 times. She'd spent 2 years trying to kill this woman and then was like, man, this insulin just ain't working. I need to up my game a little bit because she also was infected with MRSA at one point. So she probably bought the MRSA not from the FBI because they don't sell that on their websites. They only sell the mass destruction, the weapon of mass destruction versions of things. So they bought. So just think about this, folks. This woman probably blew $5,000 to $10,000 on a strain of Versa that she paid directly to the FBI, only for them to arrest her. And the worst part of all of this is, she essentially attempted to kill this woman. And she placed a phone call from the jail saying, I'm going to get my boy back. I need to get my boy back. So she still wants the kid. She got out after 25 months. So 2 years and 1 day or 1 month. And then at the very end of it, it shows the happy family of the woman with the herniated discs. Now, this woman has had so many herniated discs, I can't even tell you. But she is swinging her kid around in a field, and it's her, holding up this large child who's somewhere between 10 and 12. And they show you from the screen that that someone could be lurking in the shadows looking for him. So, yeah. Noob's on. And he's not on for the same reason why other people aren't on. It's because he's doing something stupid and other people are enjoying their vacations. He could have easily been like, I had a scheduled vacation. Oh, except they didn't let you have a scheduled vacation. Whoops-a-doodle. So anyway, yeah, I thought this was it's just a fascinating story. Yeah, he's bad Wi-Fi, shark bites, in-law bites, whatever you want to call it. Mommy wouldn't let him come on the show, which will happen more and more in the future. It's all happening, but that's all right because I'm still here for you. And I recommend the show. I think it's kind of funny because the second one is maybe each week, instead of reviewing the show as a whole, I'll just tell you, I'll recap the story of what happened in Worst Roommates Ever. And I think it's more enjoyable that way. I think you guys will really enjoy this segment because I am enjoying recapping these stories because I've seen some really terrible roommates and I've had a couple of terrible roommates. And I'm sure we could all tell some stories about it, but none of them tried to kill me. So I'm going to say that's a win. So anyway, thanks for hanging out. We're going to review 80... oh my God. Axel Foley. Is that what they're calling it? It's not even called like Beverly Hills Cops. Z-Caps. Z-Recaps. I like Z-Caps. Z-Caps is cool. Instead of recaps, Z-Caps. We're going to do Beverly Hills Cop, Axel Foley, Axel F, I think it's called. It's weird. I don't know why they decided to make the name all weird. We'll see if it's funny. I like Eddie Murphy, but I don't know. Eddie Murphy kind of got broken by Hollywood somewhere. So I don't know. We'll see if it's any good. I'm sure there's some other stuff to check out. If there's something specific you want us to review, I'm still doing the Acolyte. We're doing the House of Dragon. Doing the Bear, doing the Boys. There's a lot of stuff we're in the middle of. So there's a lot of shows out there. I'm sure there'll be a handful of movies as they come out. We'll check them out. Please request something. I would like to do the Neverending Story. Maybe we'll do it for our members only, where we can actually watch and review we can watch it live. Let's do it live. Live. The Neverending Story would be a lot of fun, especially since I heard they're going to remake that nonsense. Anyway, thank you for being here this long. You guys is the best. I'm sure you're going to catch this on the replay because it's a very busy weekend for everybody. It is is this the most alcohol weekend in the, I think July 3rd? No, I think there's another day that there's more alcohol consumption. But I hope you enjoyed some hamburgers, hot dogs, got that America. I'm going to put my mask back on. It's America. See, I show up for you and America because America needs me right now. The way I look at this job, honestly, is that there's a lot of serious stuff going on in the world right now, especially in America. If you are one of our worldwide viewers, which happens, you need some levity, and that's what we're here for. We're here to bring the yucks. We're here to bring some fun. We're to take your mind off of all the crazy stuff that's going on because we love you and you love us, and it's a great relationship. But America, hell yeah. We love the world. We want world peace. But as far as I'm concerned, guess I'm on to the next one. We'll see you around, folks. See you on the next one.